All right. Welcome. Let's continue. So the plan for today is adding. I'm gonna add a new NPC, which is gonna be the sort of character you will go to get some upgrades. So I'm gonna continue with the upgrade stuff. What I've done so far is making upgrades, being you can restore upgrades through the save, so it's persisted in the save file, and also we have a a menu for the upgrades as well here. So you can see here, for example, we have the double jump upgrade that you can see enabled there. It's not really pretty in the menu here. It's kind of offset. It's not centered here, but yeah, it's there anyway. So yeah, and what I'm thinking today is I want to add a new character that will sort of help you get this double jump upgrade. Is the idea. And so what I think I'm gonna do first is give the... Well, we need a couple of things, I think. I'm gonna make... I have to make like an artifact. Let's see, where do we have... hang on. Items, consumables. I guess this would be some sort of like a it's not really a consumable or an ingredient. It's more like a key item, I guess. We don't really have key items. Because what I'm thinking is you do a quest for the Elder to get, which is gonna be maybe, defeat the first boss or something like that. And then what you get is you get a key that will open a door that you come across from before. So you're gonna come across some sort of mystical door or something, and then you get a key to that door from the Elder, and then you can go in there and you can meet the sort of wizard or the dude who is gonna help you with learning magic basically. And one of the magics is basically double jump, and so yeah, that's the idea. But I think for now I'm not gonna do all that right now. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna implement the character itself, and I can always change the quest later. And so so let's see, what do we want to do? But yeah, we can actually have this. So we can have the quest to defeat the first boss. That could be like defeat forest boss quest. Okay. Right. In it. And so I'm just gonna copy some of this stuff. Or no. So the first one is the label. So I don't think my LSP is working right now. Why? I don't know. First one is the label, so defeat evil in the forest or something. I don't know what to call it. Right. So we're gonna have, I guess, 2 steps. One is do it, and the other is turn it in. So go to the forest and defeat the evil there. And yeah, the elder wants you to go to the forest. And defeat the evil there, and then we have return to the elder. You have defeated the evil in the forest. Return to the elder. Okay. And then we have a list of requirements. Or this is the steps. So we have 2 steps. Just like that one. There. And the first one is a requirement. Now this requirement is going to be something that we don't really have right now. So I will say that, and on started we want to hide this starting point. So elder quest, what was this called? Oh wait, this is the wrong quest. Yeah. Elder quest. I'm gonna start prefixing it first with the NPC and then with the quest, and then start something like this, so you can easily see which. So this is the name of the quest, here's the NPC, and this is sort of the context here, action, yeah. And when it's completed, we are gonna show elder quest end defeat forest boss. Alright. And then turning to elder. When it's completed, we are going to hide quest and defeat forest boss. We are not gonna well, we might show another, you know, the next quest here, but right now we don't really have anything. And we're also gonna add an item when the thing is completed, and the item is going to be the. We actually need a new type of item for this, which is the key items. Now, where is that? Here. So we have resource, ingredient, and usable, and then we also have key items. Or maybe quest items. Quest type. Right, and the first one is gonna be the wizard key. right? Yeah, we're gonna need to implement a whole bunch of stuff, but quest items. Add item quest. Probably gonna be the last type of item. We'll see. It's not that much boilerplate to add it here. Let's see. Here. I mean, there is a way to also, so you don't have to spell this out every time and just, you know, get the correct tag based on the item type and then call the function on the correct thing. So it's like mapping this to this. I mean, why am I not doing that actually? That makes way more sense. I think that the issue is that the return type is going to be different. I mean, if we do this, let's say get item map and then from the item type, and we will get an item. Well, okay, so this is kind of the thing. If we say comp type t here, we can say item map t but that kind of defeats the purpose here. So what we can do is we can say that the item, well, first we can get the item type, but then we can also calculate. We can say item map from type is a function that takes, well, it's gonna take an item type and produce a type. Actually, no, I think this should be fine. Well, we'll see if it complains here, because I'm not sure if this has to be comp time known or not. We can make it comp time known by doing switch on item type, and then we get inline else link section. What the hell is that? Okay, I don't know what that is. Inline else, and then we get so the item type is a union enum. So the first one is the value, which we're not interested in. The second one is the tag. So that one we are interested in. So now we have a comp time known tag, and what we can then do is, well, actually, you know what? We can just map these directly. So we can say resource, then it's gonna be resource items. If it's a crop or ingredient, this is crafting ingredients. If it's usable, it's usable. If it's quest, it's gonna be quest items. There we go. All right. So yeah, so we'll return that. Okay. That will get the type. So now we can say item map from type, item type. Okay. So depending on which type you put in, you're gonna get a different one out. However, I'm not sure if this actually will work because this is like a runtime value. So I think what we need to do is make this inline. Perhaps. I'm not sure actually because you're getting a runtime thing in. Maybe that has to be like comp time known. I don't know. We'll see. I'm just trying to think logically how this would be work. And then depending on that, we get different outcomes. Okay. Well, and then what we'll do is we will say, well, we can actually do this. We can also do, well, that's going to be the item. Yeah, that's going to be the type that we want to get. But then we also want to return switch on item type. If it's resource, then we are going to get, also this would be self inventory. Let's make it mutable. And yeah, we'll just return view, but we need this to be mutable, so actually this is a mutable type. And then we have ingredients, we pass ingredients, we have usables. Wait, usable, it's usables. Quest is quest items. There we go. So now we have a way to talk about this item map like generically. Hopefully it will work as well. So let's say, for example, add item here. Now we can say self get item map based on item type. And now we can access those directly here. So here we can say add item. And the item type is now the subtype. So we actually have to get the subtype as well. So that is actually an issue as well. Maybe we can get both of them. Like we get the map and the thing. So it would be something like this. The map and the thing. So this would be a struct, a tuple of this, and item subtype of item type. And this one's basically inline else s, and this would be type of s. Okay, so now we get the map, we get the item map, and we get s from this. Right, this is the item map, this is that. Now we can say item map dot add item. Right. Item. What did I say? subtype. Okay. So we're usually able to deconstruct and get the types out, but here it seems to struggle. It worked by just getting the item map. I mean, I guess we could also make another function called like getting the subtype out. Like, I'm not even sure if this works right here. Okay, I guess we'll find out. So yeah, so now instead of having all these on everything, we can talk about it generically instead. I guess we'll find out if this actually works. Okay, so now we have quests there. So we can say quest now here. Quest item, and that item type is gonna be the wizard key. And amount is 1. Okay. So you can get the key item now, or the quest item. Cool. Right, so we have 2 steps. We need to fill in this requirement here. So this will basically be, you know, defeating the forest boss. That's going to be when a specific entity with an ID is defeated, which we don't really have a requirement for that. We have turn into have item wait for, so we're going to say defeated and it's going to be an entity ID, so yeah, and this entity ID, it has to be like comp time known here, so we basically just have to say defeated and then deserialize. Yeah, and then we have to paste in the ID here. Luckily, we now can do that very easily, so we'll just go to the boss room, we'll select the boss, and here is the ID there. There we go. Okay, so now we have that. This is the boss ID. And yeah, so we need to implement this requirement. Now let's check where we are actually doing that. So here's the checks for that. Yeah, we don't really have this state anywhere. So my mind is racing with different possibilities here. So how would we know if the core issue here is that the boss will have to be marked somehow that it's defeated. So you could either have an arbitrary sort of struct with a bunch of flags that just says, okay, what is the progress in the game, and there you can have, for example, defeated forest boss, for example, and then you can easily look into that. For example, if you want to see if we're supposed to spawn the boss or not, or how the boss room will look, if we can actually look at that state, that's probably an easy way to do it. So I'm thinking if we go to the player component, and similar to how we have upgrades, we could also have like progression. And it's a bunch of flags. Progression. And here we can have, for example, defeated forest boss. Okay. And then we can just include this in our current system of storage for saving. So in our primitives, we can simply add progression. And that will inherit the type of the player component there. And we also need to copy it here. So progression. Oops. Okay. And what else do we need to do? Let's see, where is game init? So here we also need to copy it. There we go. Okay, so now it should be saved as well, and it should also be loaded. And so what we also can do is we can go to the actual forest boss, and we can go to our init function. Have a lot of stuff happening here. Well, init entity function. Where is it? Init entity. There we go. So here we can determine if we want to create the boss or not. So we'll grab the play component, and we will say if the progression defeated forest boss, then we don't do anything here. Alright, so now we're not spawning the boss. I was thinking of making a more sort of generic functionality for this, where you have like a list of entities that are supposed to be, I guess, once they are dead, they are supposed to stay dead. So whenever you encounter an entity, any type of entity that matches anyone in that list, then we can also skip that. So, but this is a very more like specific version of that functionality. But yeah, let's do it like this for now, and we'll see if we need to do anything else later. It's also nice to have this very specific, you know, if you've done this, then it makes sense. A bunch of other stuff might happen and stuff. So let's see now. Let's go back to our quest here. Where is the quest? Right. So maybe we don't have this actually. Maybe we have like a progression requirement instead. Progression. And then this would be sort of like a field in that. So defeated forest boss. Let's see. Go back to player. No, go back to quest requirement. So let's remove this and let's have progression, and then this would be a field enum. A field enum of the progression. We also need to get progression. Which is public. Alright. So now we can say any kind of thing in the progression. We can actually say, yeah, that's the field. I'm wondering also if we should add like the value as well. But how would we know the type though? I don't think that's gonna be easy just to add. Like, let's say we had a progression that is slightly just not, you know, true or false. We'll start there and we'll see what we need to do. But you could do something else as well. You could have like a, I guess, a little buffer where you can put state in or something. I don't know. Okay, so that's gonna be that. And yeah, so the requirement is that you have defeated the boss. So let's yeah, requirements met. So now we have to implement that here, which will be pretty easy. So progression, field name or fields, and then we'll say, well, this is actually going to be comp time as well. So it is comp time known, right? And what we can do then is we can say we need to get the player component, and we need to say if player component progression, and then we can access the field like this, but we have to get the tag name here, right? So now, assuming that this is a bool and it's true, we get in here, and actually we need to check if it's not true, because we're gonna set this to false in that case. There we go. Right. And what we need to do also is when the force boss dies, we need to do something. So do we have an on death here? On orb death. We need, this is the forest boss entity. We need on death on the boss as well. I'll just check how this looks and copy this. All right. So when the boss dies, we will get the player component, and we will say progression, defeat the boss is true. Okay. Right. Okay. Right, so that means now that this quest should function like we have defeat. So go and get the quest. I need to create these dialogue options as well. But we have the requirements. Progression is defeated forest boss. And once that is done, then we get to the next one, turn into Elder. And we get the quest item, wizard key. And then that in turn we will be able to do other stuff. So that's that. I also want to add the menu for quest items, but I think I will start with these dialogue options. So we have start and end. I need to change these ones to quest, start, gather ingredients, quest, and gather ingredients. Okay. Alright, so now we need to implement these. So this, what would this be? Evil in the forest. So he would probably say something about some evil in the forest. You will ask about it, and then he will start rambling here. And yeah, I'm not gonna write. I'm just gonna say something here. Okay, and then you're just, well, we're gonna have a response accept quest here. It's just gonna be one response. Yes. And the quest is defeat forest boss. Okay. Right. And then we also have the end. I'm not sure what he's gonna say here, but thank you. Just thank you. And what is this? Yeah, this is gonna be advanced quest. No problem. All right. So then you get the thing. Oh yeah. let's see. All right. Okay, so we have those. Yeah. Okay, yeah. So now I think the dialogues and the quests are implemented. We need to now, I want to make the new menu screen. So we will go here and we will have quest items. Quest items menu, which we need to have here as well. Quest items. Okay. Yeah, it's gonna be the same as upgrades, basically. Quest items. And okay, yeah. So we don't have upgrade if we don't have this. Yeah, so we should, it should be the same as this. Oh yeah, it's an item menu, right? Oh, right, so we just draw item menu. And this is gonna be quest items. Yeah. However, draw menu, draw item menu. There's one thing that I want to do though, is this part. So I want also options. So this is draw item cell options, which we will pass in here. So now you can specify whether you want to draw the amount of items, which we want for most of these. But for quest items, we don't want to do that. So this is going to be draw amount false. Okay. Yes. Do we have something else? Well, we'll see. We'll find out what we need to do if it doesn't compile here. All right, dialogues 145. Oh, it didn't do these properly. And this one. Inventory 55. Oh yeah, we don't have this. Animations. No, animation. Where is it? Here? Let's see. Tag name T. Okay, yeah. So actually, yeah, I need to implement the graphics for that. Well, I don't have it, so what I will do is I will just make a placeholder for now. And this is gonna be the wizard key. Texture. Yeah, I guess we can take this one. Sure. All right. So now we should have it. Oops. Oh, we have to like add it here as well. There we go. I guess I could have just used another animation, but whatever. Okay, unable to resolve comp time. Okay, here we go. So yeah. So now we get to this issue here. Yeah, since this is not comp time known, we can't do this, which is a shame. We can't use this in like a comp time context, I guess. So it has to be like comp time known before we send it in here if we want to use it like this. Well, I tried to make this like a generic thing, but yeah, the problem is basically what we need to make this generic is know which field we need to access here and also get the subtype out. Another thing would also be that this item map could take the parent sort of union as well, I guess. And we do it that way. Or we could just hard code it as well. No, this is S. This is yeah. So let's just remove this. I tried to make it like generic here, but maybe once I've learned some more, I'll be able to complete that. All right, and then we just say ingredient. Usables, first items. All right. Quest items, no member name quest items, draw item menu. Okay, so this is the item type tag, so it's gonna be quest. Right, and here we have this. So no, this. And this is gonna be crafter start. End. Anything else here? Quest start. Okay. All right. Let's see if we have anything else going on. Oh yeah, we also need to add the elder things here. I'm gonna disable these, I guess, and we're gonna have quest start defeat the forest boss. And we also are gonna need end. Man, did I have so many references to these things? Alright, now it seems to go through. There we go. So we'll go and talk to the elder. Yeah, evil in the forest. Okay. Yeah, the notification. We don't have like text wrapping. That would be really nice to have automatic text wrapping. I'm gonna see if I can. Oh yes, also, yeah. So now we have these quest items is here. We only have one quest item. Yeah, starting to get a whole bunch of different things. I should probably make a shortcut to the boss. Perhaps. Or just have a... press a key or something. Well, what we could do is go to the village. And we'll go maybe up here. We will add an exit. And what's happening here? Why do you have two? Oh. Okay, well, whatever. Let's see. Where is the boss room? It is... Wait, oh, it's this one. There we go. And then let's pick the start entrance. So this is start. Alright, so now we have a special portal up there to the boss. Actually, let's put it over here. So still have the quest. Okay, here's the boss. Do some playtesting on the boss. Okay, I wasn't paying attention there. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm actually missing an important ingredient to this fight, which is the upgrade. Okay. Well, let's just put the upgrade in here. And also, I'm gonna make the boss easier. So, force boss. Let's, well, it's the stun. Is, yeah. What's happening? Okay, I was pressing the wrong key there for some reason. Okay, let's just test this now. See if we can progress through the quest. We have this quest here. Grab the thing there. Oh, it saved the state of these machines, which is kind of funny. So it should just die now. Okay, it crashed instead. Okay, we're not supposed to have it like that. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove my save state and try this again. So it's actually not supposed to save the states of those things, which is gonna be interesting. If you die during the boss fight, we should disable restoring the state of these devices. Okay, I guess we have to do like 2 cycles here. Okay, so maybe the crash actually is gonna happen again. Okay, no. There we go. So we got the progress thing there. Now, what's interesting here is we can't actually go out here because it's like blocked off right now. I don't have a mechanism for that. So we have to restart. Now we're in the village. Here it says you have defeated the evil in the forest. Return to the elder. Great. Evil in the forest. And we can now say thank you, and it's completed, and now we should have this quest item. Okay, cool. So the whole thing works basically. Great. Not sure what the crash was about, but it's probably nothing that is supposed to be. I think it's because the boss was like in a different state, and the boulder hit, which then caused something that should not happen basically. Let's see if I can. So it crashed here. Yeah, okay. So we assumed that the face was something was not. Right. But as long as the fight progresses normally, that should not happen. But it would probably be nice to have to not let it crash because of those things. Yeah. Okay. Right. So now we have that. What else? Well, okay, yeah. So now we can add this new NPC, I guess, which is going to be the wizard or whatever it's gonna be called. The wizard. Let's see. Alright, here's the elder. Let's copy this. That's a basic template. I'm gonna call this introduction. So introduction, that's a dialogue starting option basically. The wizard. No. Trollkarlen. And it's gonna talk like the elder. Alright, so that should be good. Let's see. What we need is also animation. So we have the NPCs somewhere here. Let's see, was it called that or? Oh yeah, I never made the animation. Okay. Textures. Let's add. Oh, I see. I named it something else there. Okay. Right, so we also need to add an entity type. There he is. And animation. So we're gonna have idle. And talk. Yeah, and for talk I have to copy basically. Let's see, where's the animation for Kottefolket? Oh, talking it's called. Talking. Okay. So we have these three and I have to sort of make it the same. So we have 0 or 1, 2, 1, 3, 2. 1, 3, 1. No, it's the other way around. No, that's fine. This, and this. And then this. And the last one. Okay, and then they have a little bit of different like durations and stuff. So you just need to copy that as well to there. Just to have the same sort of animation. And 3 in the end. There we go. So there you can see the talking animation there. All right. Right, so now we have animation for that. And we can go to the village. Well, he's gonna live like outside of the village. I'm not exactly sure where right now, but you're gonna be able to access this guy though. Let's just put him up here for now. Okay. There we go. Right. So. Yeah, I mean, we can just start and see if it works. Oh yeah, we need wizard introduction. Okay, let's see. Oops. Now, technically, what we could do also is the when you defeat the boss, this guy will sort of say something else. But my idea for this guy is that he's going to be inaccessible at the start. And once you have the quest item, you can go to like a magical door or something and then get to this guy. Yeah, it's kind of funny how it turns with his little thing there. It's also not supposed to do that. So where did we do that? I think it's like force direction. Right. Where was that put? Oh yeah. Let's have him stand to the right. So now he shouldn't move. Oops. Come on. Okay. Right. So let's add I guess what we could do is we could say that just as an introduction thing, we will add a quest for the wizard. So the wizard will be double jump quest. So it's gonna be this template here. This quest will be Well, actually, maybe it's not even a quest. Maybe it's just... Actually, okay, yeah. It's not a quest. It's more like the crafter one, where it's basically... Where is that thing? Health potion. So here we're basically crafting a health potion. We're removing some items, and then we're adding... we don't have, though, a way to sort of check that you actually have enough of these items. You can just choose the option. It will, even if you don't have the ingredients, it will work anyway. So we need a way to... we need... add requirements to dialogue option and a response if requirements are not met, something like that. So if you don't have enough, you're gonna pick the option and it's gonna say, well, you don't have enough instead. So let's see. But yeah, it's gonna be, we could do something like this. We're just gonna give you the double jump for... So it's kind of like a shop. I mean, I guess we don't really have a shop interface right now. It's basically just dialogue options. But it could be like moved into some sort of shop interface in the future. Hang on. This is the starting dialogue, that's right. So this would be like wizard, buy double jump. I'm not sure how to phrase this, so I'm just gonna say buy double jump. If you give me, I don't know, 50 gems. Give me 50 gems, I will teach you double jump. Probably it would be called something else. Here we go. Yeah. So gems 50, and then we're gonna add, well, it's not an item. We don't have this right now, but we're gonna say add upgrade, and the upgrade is gonna be this. No, player upgrade. Yeah, we don't really have a good tag for it right now, so I'm just gonna say it's one of those fields, which means it has to be called has double jump. I don't know, add kind of feels weird. I don't know what to call this. Enable upgrade. Okay. Now where do we... Yeah. Resolve action. Enable upgrade. We need, well, we have the player component already, so player component upgrades, This is gonna be like field is equal to true, and that's it. Do we exit the dialogue after that? Yeah, I guess. Double jump. No, that's the quest. Yeah. Let's remove that. Wait, where is this? Defined here. Enable upgrade is field enum of player upgrades, which you can import player. All right, great. Now here we have to say wizard by double jump. So that is now enabled, but what we could do is we could say it's gonna be enabled after the quest has been turned in for defeating the boss. So we can actually do show dialogue here. Oops. No. Okay, never mind. Wizard by double jump. Let's add it. All right. Unable to resolve comp time value. Right, so this is comp time because it is well, it should be comp time because oh wait, actually we need a tag name. Yeah, but it's still not like comp time. So I think, what if we just add comp time here? Would that work? Redundant. Maybe there was something else. Unable to evaluate comp time expression. Okay. I guess, well, the action, this is not comp time known, like which action it is. The value itself, if we knew which action, like where it came from, we would know here. But I think for this, we actually need to do like a switch in this case. switch on S, inline else, and we get the tag out like this. Oops. Then we can do this, but the tag name is from T instead. Capture T is already taken, so we have to do this. Error, missing field, double jump. Oh. Oops. Let's remove this quest. Alright, but since we already completed the quest, the state is gonna be a bit weird now. Yeah, so we don't have the thing enabled. So if we go through this again, alright. Return to the elder. Here we go. What do you want? Buy a double jump. Okay, now it's, you know, it's enabled. No. If you give me 50 gems, I will teach you double jump. And so even if we don't have 50 gems, we can still say yes. And then we actually get it as well. So there we go. Now we have double jump. Cool. All right. Well, we're starting to get the, I guess, the basic systems in place. Now it's also like when I'm just trying this out. It's like when you jump normally, you can jump up like this, and you can also like tap to just jump a little bit, or you know, control when. But when you double jump, up tap, you will always jump the full height. But sometimes it feels like, it felt like he was not jumping the full height, but yeah, like there. And there. Wait. Yeah, I don't know. I should probably make it so that you can decide yourself, like if you just tap twice, it's not gonna, if you tap, it's not gonna jump the full length. Oh yeah, we need to hide this if we actually have it as well. Now, one thing that I'm noticing with this system is like, if you didn't go through the correct journey here, the states are actually able to be kind of messed up. So it's like, if I add now as an action to bind double jump, which hides the double jump dialogue. So here we remove, we enable upgrade, and we also hide option. And this is like the wizard by double jump. So we hide this, right? And so, but even though we're supposed to have done this, and we're supposed to hide this, it's, I mean, it's like, instead of checking the state and determining, okay, should we show double jump or not based on the state, we just have an action that happens that hides hides this dialogue option when something else happened. But if this never happened, then that, and like, if we add this later, basically you have to like go into the save file and modify the state for this to now retroactively be changed. So I'm wondering if, like, is it a good way of doing this, or is it better if we like just check instead, like, if the dialogue option has like requirements for being shown or not instead, and those requirements could be, do you have double jump or not? Because then you don't rely on this state to be set or not. Well, yeah. I guess you could have both as well. Like, if it makes sense to have a state that changes, like double jump, you can check the upgrade if you have the double jump. But let's say it's just an arbitrary, you talk to someone. Like, we have a bunch of those. Like, here, like, where is this? The start here. There's the introduction for Elder. So this is the first thing it says. Then we're changing it out to this one. So that is a case of doing something that changes this state. But this state is basically, it's different because it's only regarding the dialogue, I guess you could say then. Yeah, I mean, this is only going to be an issue if you ship the game and you accidentally forgot to add one of these state switches in one of these actions, and then you can't really, well, I guess you can retroactively do it as well. I mean, we can implement a check for has double jump later instead of doing this, and then this won't really matter. So I guess it's not really an issue. Well, I guess it's a solvable issue. My fear was that you would have to sort of retroactively go in and change the state. I mean, I guess that is also possible, but it feels like it's probably better to not rely on this state and instead rely on this state. Okay, well, anyway, that was just a thought there. So we could add the requirements to dialogue options. So basically, this dialogue option will remove 50 gems But if you don't have 50 gems, you're still gonna be able to choose the dialogue. So I want to add some sort of thing here where it's required. So requirements. I guess we could also have something called cost, because that kind of implies that you both will lose the thing. Cost is, it's always going to be like an item, but I will say item here. So we could have something called cost, so that, because that kind of, it implies both that you will lose these items and also that the cost is like a requirement for actually choosing this dialogue option. Right. So cost, and then we can also say, okay, so we can say the cost is cost requirements, oops, wrong language, requirements and response. So we could have like a response if you don't have like enough. If you don't have enough, we're gonna show this response. So this is basically you don't have enough gems. Okay. Something like that. And we can still have like requirements here as well. This could be requirements. Yeah, as I was talking about, it could be requirements to show that option at all. It could be requirements to select it. I don't know. But the cost is kind of, that's going to be kind of obvious. The only thing that I'm thinking there is maybe we'll have like a shop UI instead of baking this into the dialogue system. You have like a shop UI that you use instead. But we can start here. Let's see. Dialogue. So no, wait, this is a response. Yeah. But that makes sense. The response has the cost. And not the option. Well, I guess the option... let's just put it in here. Cost. Nullable. Cost equal to null. Right, and the cost had response and requirements. Right, and this will be a new type of requirement. This will be like a cost requirement. And so we will have an item, which is gonna be a struct of type, which is a item type, and amount. Okay, yeah, and that's what we have. Right, so now we can define this. I mean, you can also show like in the UI if you hover if you're selecting this, if you're highlighting this response, we can show in the UI like, okay, an icon and -50 or something like that, and then even show, you know, if you actually can afford it or not. But yeah, we'll start there. So now we need to implement this. So we'll have to go to the dialog system and choose option. It's gonna be in active dialog, I believe, maybe. Oh, this is the draw function. Where's handle choose option? No, it's gonna be like a response. Responses. Choose response. There we go. Handle on and resolve action. So here we could say if we have a cost, so we could say if handle cost then it was handled by the cost thing. So we never actually resolved, we never actually chose the response, so we can return there. Right, so here we say if we have, so we can grab the cost out like this, response to cost. So now this is an optional, so we can say or else we return false, which means we didn't actually handle it. Or I mean, we handled it, but we didn't have a cost, so we can go ahead and resolve the response. All right, now we need to check if the cost is fulfilled. So I guess as a standard, the cost is already, like, if you don't have, the first question is like this: if you don't have any cost in the list, then is the cost fulfilled or not? And the answer is yes. So then we'll create a cost fulfilled or whatever, or covered maybe, is true. So it started out as true, and then we return, I guess, false if, no. Yes, false means that we could not afford it. Right, so if this is no, true means we could not afford it, right? So then we exit. If it's false, then we can afford it, or we don't have a cost, right? So this should be, if cost is covered, then we should return false. So maybe this should be like, if we couldn't handle the cost, we return. Maybe that makes more sense. Okay, so I just needed to formulate that. Sometimes I have real hard trouble with Boolean logic. It's like one of those things where it's like so easy to accidentally invert somewhere along the way, and the meaning gets lost somewhere, and yeah, it's hard to figure out like what is sort of the easiest way to think about it. Anyway, so we cost is covered. So how do we then do this? So we will loop through all of these requirements, and we need to check if the requirement is met. And let's add this requirement. If it is not met, then cost covered is false. Well, I guess we just return false in that case. So we don't really need to have a thing here. We just return true. Right. So if one of the requirements are not met, we return false. If all of them are fulfilled, we return true. Or if they are 0 length, then we also return true. However, if they're 0 length, then we shouldn't really have a cost anyway. So, right. So, if it's not met though, we also want to sort of show we want to show like the dialogue as well. So it's kind of like we need a new state for that, maybe. But let's do this first. Requirement. Okay, now this function will say we will switch on the type of requirement. If it's an item, we will say we need to get the player component. No, get player component. And we will return if inventory get item amount of the type is more than or equal to the amount that we need. Okay, now this like generic item type really comes in handy when dealing with this. This was like very easy to implement there. All right, so yeah, so that's it for that. Now the remaining thing is, so basically now, well, when you choose this option now, or the response, it basically doesn't, it just doesn't go through. So, but it still stays there, so you don't really see what's happening. It's just nothing's happening if you try to accept this. So what I want to do is I want to show the response that the NPC has. So, and we don't really have sort of like a way to do that. So we need a new dialogue state, I think, for that. Because what we have is like choosing option and active dialogue, I think. So I mean, I guess technically what we could do is we could say, okay, what if response is like another dialogue option, or it's like, yeah, it's a dialogue option, I guess. So it will take you to that dialogue option, maybe. I don't know. There's gonna be so much specialization if we would need a separate state for this type of thing. Yeah, let's just do that. Let's add wizard. Not enough gems response. Something like that. And it's not gonna have a label. It's just gonna be, it's not gonna have any responses. What it's going to have is a text here. You don't have enough gems. Alright. And then this response is gonna be wizard. Yeah. So where's the cost? This is actually a dialog key. Dead now. Okay, and then we have to go to NPC, and we have to add this response there. All right. So what we do now then here is, if we are over here, we also want to, or I guess, handle cost. So, well, I guess it could be a part of this. So, we get the player component, and we will set let's see. Let's see if we have like an action here. Go to option. This is basically what we want to do. We want to go to option. Yeah. Wait, where were we? Oh, we need to specify the option like this. Wait. Okay, so we need the info. Where did we do this? Here, dialog option info. How do we do this? I think what we need is we need this dialog states. Where? Oh yeah, the container, I'll call it. Okay. Container, and then the container we will get option info by ID, and the key is requirement. No, it's response. No, it's cost dot response. There we go. There we go. We got there. So this is a dialog option key. This takes a key and gives us an info, which then will grant us the option there, so we can put that there. Okay, cool. This should really be like the key instead, and we do it in there instead. I don't know. Oh, and this is unused. Alright. I'll just do that for now. Okay, so now we're actually gonna change the dialog to go to this option. Yeah. And well, actually, you know what we could do? We could implement a new thing to go back as well. So you could have this conversation. You don't have enough gems. What's gonna happen at the end there? Sorry. I don't know. And then we have on our action is gonna be go back, like go to previous option, something like that. So all right, action is a single one. Yeah. Go to previous option. So you wouldn't have to have some sort of context in that case to go to the previous option. Maybe that's not possible. Because the thing is, we go to this option. Maybe we need a history of where we are. That could be good anyway, because you could, if you have a history of dialogue, you could, you know, have this fancy way of going back and forth into the, or check, you know, check the dialogue, what was said before. So if you accidentally skip some dialogue, you will still be able to go back. So it would be cool if we could add some history there. But this could work in that case. But since we don't have this right now, we don't have history there, we can't really do this. So this will basically just end the conversation here. Yeah. We'll just end the conversation, and that will be fine. We can add this to do here maybe. Just so you don't have to go through the dialogue again, like, is the idea there. Requirements. All right, this is what we are currently doing. Okay, so now I think technically this should work, or unless I've missed something, but we are going to the new option. And yeah, that will change the whole thing. I'm just gonna check if that comes. No, because we have resolved actions there, so that should be fine. All right, let us check if this works now. No field named. Hide option in union actions. Oh. What is it called? Yeah, it's called hide dialogue option. It's interesting. The dialogues, I never have this action in here. Okay, well. I guess it's like the first time we have something that can be uniquely bought and then you don't have it later. Okay, but we have it. But the dialogue option should still be there because we haven't changed the state in the save. So it's there. We say, okay, if you give me 50 gems, I will teach you how to double jump. Here you go. You don't have enough gems. Okay, cool. So let's go and see if we can. Okay, this is gonna take too long. Let's just cheat a little bit. I'll add a couple of chests here. It's fun that you can do this now, like you can add some in-game elements to cheat. Yeah, they are automatically chests. Okay. I want to buy this. Here you go. Oh, it didn't actually remove the thing. But if we talk to him again, then the option is gone. So that works. Okay, it didn't actually remove the gems. Which we of course want to do. Let's see, dialogue. Right, so yeah, basically I think we want to make sure that we meet all the requirements, then we consume them. So we have to have like a new loop again where we like pay the cost. So pay cost requirements. So we know that we can afford it, so we should just be able to pay it now. Pay cost requirement. And now we can say remove item amount. Okay. Let's remove the save file so we can try this again. Oh, actually, wait, what's the issue? Oh, it's a bool. No, it's not a bool, it's a void. And we don't need to return anything. Okay, I just need to check if we need to, or yeah, I'll remove the save file and then I will say player. I need to enable something like the quest item, I think. No, let's just do this. Let's go to the boss. No. The progression, maybe. No. Let's go to the boss. No. Yeah, we can do it like this. Yeah. So where's the progression at here? So let's say set this to true, because I believe this will make it so that immediately after we accept the quest from the elder, it's gonna be automatically completed. Yes, accepted, and then you have defeated the enemies, the thing. So yeah, there we go. And now we have the thing, and we can talk to this guy now. I'm just gonna test this again here. I wanna buy double jump. Here we go. I don't have enough gems. Okay. Cool. So let's open another chest. There we go. Here we go. Okay, the money disappeared and we have double jump. Okay, cool. Great. So that works. Alright. Now I want to fix the double jump thing. So I'll go to game input. So basically the issue here is that when you double jump, well, when you jump normally, you can tap the button like this to just jump a little bit. But and you can also hold it to jump as far as you can. But if you double jump, you always sort of go the maximum height, even if you just tap. So that's what I wanna. That's what I wanna change. You should be able to tap the double jump as well. So where is that? Here's the jump function input thing. And let's see if we have not double jumped. So this starts the double jump thing. Otherwise, we're checking for the end input here. Okay, so we're checking if we are not on the ground, if we're not climbing, if we're going down, or if we're going up. Sorry, if we're going up, and if we haven't reached the apex yet. So it has nothing to do with double jump, actually. It's interesting that this is like this. Okay. So if we're not holding it down, we set the velocity to 0. So why is this not happening for the double jump is the question. This should be false. These two are only for if the jump is pressed, which is at the at the first frame where you press down the jump button, and then the consecutive frame stage. This should be false. And then if that's not down, then it should go in here. So why is this not happening? What if we take this back? So this code was basically like a little experiment that I did to sort of increase the jump height, like change like the equation. So at the start of the jump, you would jump faster up, but then after you reach the apex or slightly before, you would slow down. Almost like the old school like Super Mario Brothers game. But then I realized that basically all modern games just use a simple straight up parabola for the jump, so I just reverted to that because it also felt like when I was jumping, like I hit something like I hit something in the air. But this basically, it checks if your current height is going up to the sort of tile height limit, which is we've set to 4.5. And so basically means that you shouldn't be able to jump higher than 4 tiles up. So you should be able to land on a tile that is 4 tiles up from where you jump. And we also set this to true. So, I guess I'm not sure why this would be different now. Like, let's say we try this. Or, that's right. I need to enable these things again. There we go. So how would this look like now? Actually, yeah, that's right. Okay, you can see here, it sort of feels like you're hitting the ceiling a little bit. Because it's like breaking at the end there. Okay, but this still doesn't work, so that's not the issue. So I don't think this part we don't really need anymore. I'll still keep it around for now and we'll probably remove it later. But why is this code not executing just because we are double jumping is the question. Is it like we have reached apex? Right, so when we're double jumping, actually, yeah. When we are activating the double jump, we should set this to false again. Yeah. This is kind of the issue when you're using this kind of weird state-based stuff instead of like mathematical. You get these weird issues. There we go. Okay, yeah. So now we can do that. Okay, cool. All right. Great. What now? I'm not sure actually. If I had more like programming stuff to show here right now. Oh yeah, one thing actually, here, the puzzle room, or this is the room where you're supposed to be able to get the upgrade here, get this upgrade here. So basically this is like the first dungeon. You reach this point. Oh, here's your like upgrade item for this dungeon, and so you get this item here that you can use to activate stuff, and then you can use that to go through here. But what I want it to happen here is when we, let's see, this is the state it's in. So when the player comes in here and is lured in here, maybe like either I want to close this off, or when the player gets past this point, I want to close this point. So basically what we need is some sort of tripwire type entity that is gonna trigger when you get into a certain region, and that will trigger this door to. So what we need is I guess a one-time activation region. So to me it's a device, because devices, like I have these different categories of entities. So devices are things that can activate and deactivate stuff. So this would be a device type entity, although I'm not sure what to call it, but it's gonna be like I guess when the player enters the area, or it could be, you know, it could be configurable, I guess, as well. So when something enters the area, it's gonna activate something else, right? So area activation, maybe. Area activation. Or enter area activation. Activator. Enter area activator. Sure. And we can have a property, which is going to be an array of entity references, and this is going to be activates. So as we have with all those, with almost all the devices that activates other things, we have an array of entity references that we call activates. And let's see. Well, this is going to be interesting because it's, let's just make it I don't know, as some color here, like blue or something, I don't know. And then we need I guess we could add another property, which is like what kind of thing will activate this. So activator, activatee, no, activator can be a string. It could actually be an array of strings if you want to have multiple things able to do it. Array of strings, and we'll add a default value of player. Okay, so that's the default like template of the entity. Okay, and now we can go to our scene here. We can add this entity, and let's make it larger. So basically maybe over here. The player is like 16 width, so, and that's one tile basically. So as long as you're past this door, it's gonna be fine. Doesn't need to be that large. Yeah, I guess this should be fine. because once the door is starting to close, you can't get past it either. So right, and then we have activate array. I'm not sure if we actually, yeah, we did copy the sub or the thing there. Okay, and what is it going to activate? Well, it's going to be that door. There we go. So now once we reach this point, we should activate this door. However, we have to also implement it in the game. But now we have the actual entity in the editor. Okay, let's go to the game. And first off, we need to go to scene, add a new device. What did I call it? Enter area activator. It's gonna have activates, which is an array of array, there we go, of entity references, and then activator, which is also an array of strings. Okay. All right. Right, so now we need to also add this entity in a bunch of places. Here, for example. Where do we have the thing? Over here. So, well, I guess, yeah, it would be an entity that is created. It won't have any animation or anything like that, but enter area activator. There we go. We also need it over here. Alright, let's just copy this, I guess. No. We'll copy something that also has the activation thing. So let's do steering wheel, maybe. No, destructible tile. Take. So this would be enter area activator. All right. Don't really, it's not gonna be killed, I guess. Let's see, the state is idle or destroyed, so it's gonna be, I guess, idle or activated, because it's just a one-time activation. I guess that could also be something that is modifiable. Like, let's say you're entering the area multiple times. Yeah, okay, we can extend it in the future. Let's do it like this for now. It's like a one-time activation thing. Okay, so it can be idle or activated, or I guess not activated and activated, but We usually call it idle. Yeah, and the state has to be saved in the save file as well, but we'll handle that as it comes up. Let's see, what do we need to do? So we don't really have an animation container for this. So actually, this could be nullable now. So if this is nullable, if we have this, let's call this maybe, and if we have it, then we do basically all of this. All right. Now I think we don't really need a physics thing for it either. So actually, position could be nullable as well in that case. It's kind of weird doing it like this, but I feel like this gives us a way to be able to like configure it here, and we don't actually need to change anywhere where we call this function now, because changing a type to nullable or optional, you don't have to change. Like if you're passing in a value, you don't really have to change anything. You're just making it possible to pass null in this case. Okay, and then what I'm thinking what we could do is we could say, if we don't have a position, if we have a position, we add this, we added the thing as a physics body. If we don't have a position, this is a kind of very arcane way of doing things, but I realize that, but whatever. And so we're gonna get the hitbox, and this is an ABI. Now I've never done this because I've always added, like if I need something to have a position and a size, I usually add it as a physics body to be able to use the quad tree and everything to like check for collisions and stuff. However, this is just going to be in one room. It's just going to be checking for one specific type of thing. So I think that maybe, yeah, when you have one thing that want to check against the whole quad tree, it's not supposed to be in the quad tree itself. Then you can actually just pass in this rectangle, this AABB, and yeah, that will be fine. So I'm just gonna add this as a component now. So this would be the hitbox. So we'll just add this, and yeah, that will we can now access like it because this has both as a position and a size. So we can use that. Right. So here, instead of having this, we say null position, null. Great. And yeah, I might revise how this whole system works, but for now I'm just gonna continue like this. Okay, like if I find something that is like way better, I might change to that. And that should be fine. Properties, yes. Okay. Now depth settings is not really gonna be destroyed, so I will just skip this, I think. And we're not gonna have health. That's just for the destructible tile there. Alright. So basically don't really need to do anything here. And we don't need the animation container either. And position is actually... Oh yeah. Ooh. Okay, this is actually interesting. So, well, you know what? Let's actually store the position here instead. So position... Yeah. So we'll store the position in here. Yeah, properties, position. Because now we can use the position here, so we can actually say self position, and that's going to be the center point. The thing here is going to be the scale, so we actually need a scale as well. And so where do we usually put that? Fog of War has it after position. Okay, so we use the same convention there, and we also store the scale as well. I mean, we could just as well have like an AABB that we just save. But whatever. Right, and then we need to set those as well. Position equal to position. Oops. Scale equal to scale. Alright. Now we have position and scale, so let's pass that in there. There we go. Alright, now this is position and this is the scale. There we go. Okay. Animation, we don't actually need this function, so let's get rid of that. Let's see, activate. Yeah, so this would be activated if the state is not idle. We return yes, and then we set our state to activated. The activate doesn't exist on this one. Right, so handle state change. So if we are set to activated, we want to, well, we don't need to remove rigid bodies. We don't need to do anything with that. This one should still apply. Here we have self properties, activates items. Yeah, so this is the list of things that we need to activate. So this should stay the same because it's the same as the other one. That's why I copied it from the other one. What we do need to do, well, we need to check like when it's supposed to be activated. So this should all be fine. So this should be fully like implemented now. And then we have the update function. So this is where we check if it should be activated or not. So once it's activated, we don't really do anything. But if we're idle, we need to check if we should activate. So we need to grab the physics system. And we can then say find intersections rectangle of self get hitbox. Yeah, and then we'll get some intersections out. And there's no way of like querying for different things. You just all the bodies that's in this area, we will return those. Okay, and then what we do is, well, we need to say, hang on, okay, this is where it's different now. Yeah, I need to grab the allocator actually. Yeah, and then I need to free these intersections. Oh, maybe we need standard allocator. This one is not used. I don't think we're gonna use this one. Well, we're gonna need... we don't actually need the entity. Yeah, because we have the hitbox on ourselves here, so that should be fine. Hello, Polaris7. Have a nice day yourself. Thank you. Okay, so we're freeing the intersections. So, all right. So now we're looping through the intersections. So we get, what we get here is the entry, which is, why is this like empty now? But it's supposed to, I think it, yeah, it's supposed to be the entity key. So this is going to be the entity. All right. What we need to check now is if, because we had this sort of, yeah, we have this checking for what can activate this enter area activator. So we need to loop through, well, let's just call a function here, if can activate, we call it for self, can activate, and then we pass in the entity. If we can activate, then we activate. So we will say, wait, do we call activate, or yeah, I think we just call activate. So we'll just say self.activate. All right, and then we can simply, yeah, we can return actually. We'll just return here. All right, so we're looking for something that can activate, and if we find it and it intersects here, then we just return. All right, and now we need a function for can activate. Self is gonna be enter area activator. We have the entity. Oh yeah, we need registry as well. As always, return a bool. All right. So we're gonna loop through our properties. Activator. These are the things that can activate. So we'll loop through those, and we'll check if, and we should probably, well, this is not going to be executed that much, so I'm not going to worry about optimization here. But we are going to be measuring or looking for equaling strings here. Activator. Yeah, that is actually, that's just a string here. Well, we don't see it here, but it is a string. But actually, it should be like dot value. Yeah, because it's like a property thing. Okay, so we're checking for that against player, which is the only one we kind of have right now. and whoops. Yeah, it's kind of like a group thing. So if it's player, then we want to check. We're gonna get the player entity. Get player, and we're gonna check if player is equal to actually is what entity. I think we need to do something like this. If this is equal to this entity, so if this entity is the player, yeah, we will return true. Okay, otherwise we return false. There we go. So that's the only check we have basically. We're looking through all the possible activator types. If it's, and here we're checking, okay, so if it's a player, we will check if the entity that passed is a player, and we have to convert it to like these IDs to just make sure that the values are gonna be equal, and then we return true. Okay, so, and if this entity then can activate this enter area activator, then we activate the thing and we're done. Okay, great. All right, so now we have to go to our devices or device system, main system thing here, and do some boilerplating here. Activator. Update animation. So this is interesting now because it's not certain if we actually have an animation for this. So I guess we could do try get for this one. If we don't find it, we just return. Yeah, and skip the rest. Okay. Yeah, that's all that crap. Update. Yes. Is it by lens speed now? Handle state change. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Since we sort of dealt with before, there was way more boilerplate in here, but now it's all almost everything is not boilerplate. Okay. What is left is the question. Let's just, I guess, start and see if we can compile. Device 48. All right, so if we don't have this, well, okay. Where is this called then that warrants this behavior? You know what? I guess if we don't have it, like we can say, we can do like if has declaration no s type of s and this get animation. If we have the declaration, we will call it. Otherwise, well, I'll just do some sort of thing there. I guess this could be like unreachable, or we could say an error. Calling get animation without implementation for And then we could say the type name for S, which is, I think, no, that's the new version. The old version we still have to do S, and this would be tag name, no, type name, not type name, and type of S. Right, and then we do we just return to avoid a crash, maybe? It's gonna crash later on because it's trying to get this animation which doesn't exist anyway, so maybe it's better to crash here. Yeah, I started to add more of these error handling to get better like outputs, because when I tried to actually, yeah, I did the whole WebAssembly compilation, and reading errors from the WebAssembly version was very difficult, so I started to add, you just got this unreachable thing, and so I started to add way more like error handling. But okay, that should be good. Let's see what else it's complaining about. Probably this one as well, maybe. No field name made, get animation looping, yeah. So we'll just do the same thing here. Yeah, so if has declaration. Now this is also gonna change the next version. Has declaration, I think they said that it's gonna disappear or something, so or wait, or maybe it wasn't like it disappeared, maybe it was like with using namespace. Using namespace will disappear in the next version, but has declaration, but there was some example with has declaration and they said that, oh, you can't use this anymore, so you have to do it in another way. I don't know. Get animation looping, but I wish they would change this to use this instead, maybe. I don't know, because it feels like sometimes they use like the enum type and sometimes the string type, so it's kind of inconsistent. I wish it was more consistent, but anyway, in time it will improve. Alright, and then we'll just usually when we do this as well, I would say function name, get animation looping, and then we can do this function name, and now we have a generic way of saying this thing, and so we can pass this in here and call this get animation instead. There we go. Okay. See what else we encounter. Game input 640. Switch must handle all possibilities. Oh, I see. Oh yeah, so this is like if you can activate it with using the A button or like the activate button, which you can't. So this is just going to be over there. And then there should be another place as well. Let's see, player 590. Yeah, so you cannot activate it. There we go. Very, very nice compilation help there, or help from the compiler. Oh yeah, so the save now. Okay. So we actually need to store this state, because once you've activated it, it should also save and you shouldn't be able to activate it again. So we actually, yeah, we need to add this here. Now, you know, the more I add things here, the more I realize that maybe we need another structure here, but whatever, let's just add it here. Enter area activators. Also, you have to find out a plural version of the name as well, which is a bit annoying sometimes. There we go. All right, so what is this one? This is let's just copy this one, I guess. Right, enter area, yes. Why is this not working? State. So if it's not the starting state, which is idle, it should save the state because it's activated. And if we should save the state, we should save it to this map. Otherwise we remove it from this map, and this is activated. There we go. Otherwise everything should be the same. All right. And we also have restore. And the restored state to area activators, map, identity, and we just set the state to the restored state. That should be fine. All right. Yeah. Okay, we got more compilation errors. Cannot extract from a CBOR. Oh. Property entity reference from a CBOR stream. Well, it shouldn't. Oh, I know. I put the wrong type in here. This needs to be state and not the thing. State is the thing that we're actually saving. Okay, what else do we have? Spawn 216. Right, so you need to have the scale as well, I think. That's the issue there. Okay. Cool. So we are loading properly here. Now let's go to the place where we have it. Okay. No, nothing happened. Okay, so all right, let's okay, yeah, we can't check the collision box either because it's not part of the physics system. So interesting why it wouldn't activate. Let's add, let's do what do we want to do? We're setting it to activate it. Let's log this out. Activating enter area activator. Are we missing something here? We're going through these. We're checking for intersections. If we can activate, if one of them is player, we will check if they are the same and return true. So maybe this fails here. Maybe this is failing. I will log something out here. So checking activate player So let's grab the player. And we'll do entity ID. I'm not using the entity ID a lot, so I'm not really sure if that's like the correct solution here. But I will paste them. All it is, this is just a ECS entity here, which is basically just a unsigned integer type somewhere. Okay. Where is this? Oh, okay. So you can actually like change it, but it is just an unsigned integer thing. So we should just be able to, you know, check it like equals. However, they do sort of bake in different things into there, like version and stuff like that. So let's see, enter 138. Oh, it's shadowing. Well, let's just do that, I guess, for now. Where are we? Here. Okay, so it compiles. Great. Let's go in here and let's test this now. And see if we get some logs. What did I call this? Checking. No logs. Activating. Well, it's not being activated if yeah. Okay, I will check. I will just log here and see in update. Are we even creating this thing? I should have a better like look at like view of which entities and stuff, so you can sort of maybe query on them or something like that. Okay, it doesn't seem like in update. I even did the same typo twice there. Yeah, is it in update? Yeah, in update. Yeah, so we don't even go into the update function. So that could explain some things. So we're probably not even creating this thing. Enter area activator. Did I name this wrong in here? Actually, you know what? Let's check here for enter. Wait, what? Activating. Huh? Hang on. Where did I put that? Checking activate. Wait. This is like when it's put into. Okay, maybe it was activated actually. I checked the save file, I guess. Okay, so this one is activated 480. Yeah, that the last map here is for the newly added enter area activator. So it is actually activated. So it did work, but it didn't actually do anything. Let me double check the mapping here. It activates. 28C, which is this one. Yeah. Okay. I mean, and now it's not activating anymore because when you load it in, it's not affecting other things. Oh, wait. No, because we are setting it. We're setting the state, so that should have like a handle state change thing happening. Okay, let me just check the flow here. We update. Let's go to device, update. This is the main update function here. And we go through all the devices. We update them with this function. This calls update. Okay, so, and then it doesn't do anything else. But what about... Oh yeah, and then we call handle state change after that, which does a bunch of things. And then we call handle state change, yeah. So it should go like this. It goes in here. We activated it. Which handle state change activated. Let's do this. Put a log there. And whoops. I will remove my save state. Okay. It's kind of weird. It should activate the door there. Okay, so what does the log say now? Activate player is 0? Does that mean the player is like the first? No. Okay. So it might be colliding with something else, I guess. That's weird. It shouldn't really be colliding with anything. I guess it could collide with the ground, but okay. And then we're actually activating it, so something is wrong with the activation part. Wait, it's not stored as activated as well. Now it's stored. Okay, that was weird. What the hell is happening? So we're activating, we're returning that. Right. We're activating ourself. Which in turn, after all this, it should call handle state change. We should be going through all of these and activate them. Okay, I need to think a little bit here, or check this. Activate entity. Yes, device activate. So we're activating this target here, and then we're also causing. We're handling the state change there directly, which happens at this point. Yeah, so that should be fine. I guess we'll do some more logging. So we are activating. Are we actually going in here then? Activating entity ref. That is I believe it has an entity ID. Otherwise we will find out. Like the properties should be fine as well. If this was wrong, this name here for example, then that would be a runtime error when reading in the properties. Oh yeah, also I need to remove the save file again. Activating to. Okay, yeah, so it is okay. So why is nothing happening? Oh, okay. Right. This is actually a bit weird. Okay, I know what the issue is now. So it's because of the doors, how the doors work. If you're activating a door, you're not actually toggling like the door. Oh man, how would I change this to work? So activating just means we put it to open, and deactivating is closing. But what we really want to do is we want to toggle it. Man, this is yeah. I can see a way to actually do it. Because of the fact that these things, you can set their initial state to be activated or deactivated. Since this one is set to be initial state is like on here, which means it's like open. What we could do is we could make this not activate this, but it's gonna activate a toggle, which then has the same state as the door. So this is gonna be a bit convoluted, but what we'll do is we will do this. And then I will add another one of the toggles. Right. And so now this toggle will also be on. And it's gonna activate the door. There we go. And now this one, instead of activating the door, is gonna activate the toggle, because the toggle is, when you activate the toggle, it's toggling between active and inactive. So when you toggle it from active to inactive or deactivated, then it's gonna call deactive on or deactivate on the door. So that will actually work. It's like a controller for the door, so that does actually work quite well. So let's set this now to activate the toggle instead. And there we go. All right. Yeah, that's gonna be it for this time. So thank you very much for watching, and yeah, we got a lot of done here, so that's really nice to make a lot of progress here, getting things done. Yeah, so have a nice day, and I'll see you later. Bye bye.